Welcome to Find Your Fridays. It's me, Lorene Hughes. I'm here to be your intuitive connector for tonight. I hope you're doing really super well. I hope you're doing all the things that help make you happy and have a good day. Gosh, what a very interesting week we've had down here in South Australia. Wild weather and all sorts of fun, joyful things. Hi, Samara. Hi, Melinda. Good evening. So good to have you both. And the others who are going to be tuning in within the next few minutes, I'm sure. Beautiful humans. Yes, indeed. Lots of beautiful humans out there today. Oh, dear. How's your week been? I'd love to know. I can honestly say that this week has actually been fairly good to me. Last weekend after the show, I set about basically just doing a really big, deep upgrade, if you like. A lovely, beautiful bio upgrade. And it was the funniest thing because, well, certain important people in my life knew that, I wasn't really going to be reachable. It was the funniest thing because I ended up being messaged by like 3 other people. And I was like, that don't normally message me at all. And it was just kind of like, it was almost like there was a space created where they sort of suddenly decided, oh, we must fill it by asking Lorene these questions. And I'm just like going, I just can't. I don't have the space to reply to anybody right now. I have no words. No words. I cannot. Samara said, yeah, lots of big shifts. Yeah. And I had some really incredible, beautiful awarenesses that popped through. I had another Kundalini shift during that time. I had a big, massive detox. I did a couple of really beautiful spiritual regressions, which really helped with the process. I tend to lean on those. So it's a couple of meditations by Dr. Brian Weiss, and it came as a CD, which was with the book Many Lives, Many Masters. And I have read the book a couple of times. I love the CDs. Like I said, I tend to go to those CDs and those meditations specifically because they help me to uncover what it is that I'm moving through without having to sit there with another person and do all the digging work like you would in Theta or other modalities. And I'm just like, I love that. I love that it's guided, but it's a self-exploratory thing. So yeah, if you can, I don't think that particular combo is available anymore. Like I said, I've had this book for a long time. But yeah, the book Many Lives, Many Masters by Dr. Brian Weiss and his body of work. I know that he has some digital stuff that's available these days. Because I searched it out probably, 6 years ago, maybe. And I was like, oh, You can't necessarily get that. But again, who has CD players anymore? I still do, but yeah. So it was really lovely, and it was because all last week, even leading into last week, I felt a little bit funky, a little bit off. Like I couldn't really put my finger on what exactly was going on. So I ran myself a bath and popped it on the player, and away I went, and got some really big, beautiful awarenesses from that, and things about, some more layers to my in vitro time, past life stuff, current life stuff. Yeah, it was all very, very valuable. So I'm so grateful. I'm grateful that I had the kindness and the love and the support of Rick out there, so that he knew where I was at. So it was like, okay, cool. And like it's for him, and obviously our new relationship, it's different for him to be with somebody who's so like fairly in tune with her body, but at the same time very aware that she's still got shit to move, as we all do. So it was fun. It was fun. It was interesting for me to just go, yeah, no. There's no words coming out of my mouth today. Nothing. It's quiet mode. So yeah. Tamara says she has it too. The meditations always put me to sleep. Yeah, I tell you what, do it in the bath. Because water's a really great conduit for spiritual stuff anyway. So yeah. Hi Erin, lovely to have you here. Thank you for coming to play. Beautiful. So look, I've done the meditations in the bath. I've actually done them a couple of times in the bath. I've done them in my lazy boy chair when I had that. I've done them on my massage table. It just on my bed. Just depends on where I'm at, what my facilities, the place I'm living at the time has. So yeah. Hi Tony. Hope you're having a great day. Hope the weather's been treating you nice, because I know we had some incredible rain and wind and wackiness happening. And then I realised the wackiness with the weather / electricity, particularly on Monday, might have actually been related to the solar flares. There were some really big solar flares that apparently were reported about Thursday last week. And I thought, I wonder if that was something else to do with our funky weather / electricity problems. Oh, let's see, who wishes to come and play for the weekly reading? Okay. But it was nice to have some sunshine out today. Really, really lovely. Got out. I did some weeding. I'm not a big fan of weeding, but it's something that has to be done, I didn't really feel like growing a crop of stinging nettle this year. I have in the past had stinging nettle soup and stuff like that. I have actually got, no, that's pine needle. Haven't got. It's cold in Queensland. Oh, let me hang on. Cold in Queensland. 25? Oh dear. Birthday is Sunday. Lots of energy this week, releasing what no longer serves. Yes, Erin, that's beautiful, and happy birthday for Sunday. Tony, I am. Thank you, Han. I hope you are too. We had a tornado over the other side of Hamilton. Oh my God. No, you guys definitely would be used to that. Yeah, but Tamara, what temperature was it? I want to know now. So yeah, Amanda, I'm glad you've gotten out of all of that crazy weather. And I'm glad that you're safe and all of that sort of stuff. That's important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Sorry, guys. Crazy. So having a look at the weekly reading for the 31st of May through to the 6th of June. Oh my goodness. June. How the heck did we get to June already? Happy days, because it means we're coming up to the end of our tax year. Happy days, tax return time. 20 to 21. Ah, nice. Hang on. What did you say? Cold? Yeah. I mean, 20 to 21. We had 20 to 21 today. And I was running around in my hoodie and Ugg boots for most of the day. And also my pajamas though. Which was quite funny when the farm worker rocked up to talk to me about holes in the roof. It's like, yeah, sorry, I'm just having a PJ day today. Safe to say, I didn't look at all like this earlier today. Made it to Queensland and it was raining in 14. My God. Oh, Brian, this isn't my biggest mug. It's a good size mug, though. And good to see you too in the chat, Brian. Lovely to have you with us. So yeah, we've had some days this week where it's been highs of like 17, 18 this week, which was fine. You know, it's only bad when it's like raining and you're cold and you sort of like you've been rained on and then you've got to carry on working for the day because you haven't got any other changes of clothes or anything like that. That's when it's tough, you know. But it's all right. We'll survive. A bit of rain never hurt anybody. A lot of rain can hurt people, but a little bit, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, no, Amanda, because as you know, Tony, Amanda is traveling around Australia in her camper van and car, her four-wheel drive, and with her partner. And yeah, it got to be very, very stormy where she was, and it was there was high flooding and all sorts, lots of rain, really, really quickly, and lasted for several days, if I remember rightly. Lots of overflooding of the rivers and the streams and stuff like that. So, and with that and high winds as well. So there was a lot of trees falling over. There was a lot of road outages and stuff like that. So it was a bit scary, I think, for a little bit there. But I'm sure Amanda can, chip in with anything that she would like to say about that. I'm just glad that you're in a drier, safer place now with not so much rain. Except it was raining in 14 degrees. I don't know. So let's have a look at this reading for the collective. Interesting. I'm not sure what's happening from a an astrology perspective, other than to say that we have no funky moons. We've just been through a new moon last week, so this week that we've just been through. So we are on the in-between phases at the moment, the slowing down phases, if you like, the waning. Is that right? Nope, we're waxing now. We're coming up to the full moon. So we're waxing now. And so we're speeding up again. So the energy is going to start speeding up and stuff. So let's have a look and see. Other than that, that's all I can remember about what's happening out as far as planets and all that sort of stuff. I have just kind of tuned out that stuff for a little bit, for a week or so, just focused on me and helping my body to move through and upgrade and transition into this new stage and space that she's choosing to be in at the minute, which is lovely. And let's have a look and see what this collective reading is going to be giving us. So to start off with, we've got Rainbow, which is connect to spirit and nature. And when I see these sorts of cards coming up, and interestingly, I'm seeing a lot of more mellow colors this week. And you'll understand why I'm saying that once you see the other three cards. But what I'm seeing with this one is, like, particularly for us in the Southern Hemisphere, winter is on our door. We're in autumn and it is a time to slow down. And in this slowing down process, what I'm feeling is like a real requirement to connect in with your teams, connect in with Mother Earth, connect in with Mother Nature if you prefer. It's like that deep connection to Earth. So even though you might not like it like me, getting out there, doing some weeding, or, you know, just sitting with the earth, smelling the earth, especially after those good rains and stuff like that. I'm getting the sense that this is all a part of this, and the rest of what I've just said will make sense for the other parts of this reading. But this is a time of year when often, particularly coming into winter, we tend to sort of pull away because we want to be warm, we want to be inside, we don't want to be out in the weather. So this card here is saying, please, this week in particular, get out there, connect with nature, connect with your spirit teams, and just keep those moments flowing throughout this week. I get the sense that we're going to need a lot of grounding this week. I feel like there's a lot of sort of floofy energy, like it feels really like busy energy, and it's like the message is just take a breath and just connect in. You know, normally when we connect in with our spirit teams and stuff like that, we are doing things like meditating, or we're doing stuff that's quieter. We might be having a healing session. We might be just, you know, it doesn't have to be traditional meditation. Like when I talk meditation, I mean just like quietening the body. It's not even necessarily quietening the mind, it's quietening the body, stilling the body, because so often we're addicted to move all the time. And saying that, you can connect with spirit and nature when you're walking, and that's when you connect in with your breath and you count and you breathe. So just keep that in mind, okay? The next card that we've got is Grey, which is learn to scan your body. So when we scan our body, what we're looking for, and it really helps if you do like that expanding out technique that we do every single week, you do that first. And then what we do is we go through the body. You can start at the top, start at the bottom. It's totally up to you. But as you move through, you look for the places that have a feeling of denseness or tightness, or like sometimes people see in color. So you might see a dark spot or something like that. And as you move through the body, you can actually find, oh, actually, I've got a bit of like a tension on my right knee, for example. And then you can go, oh, okay. And then you can start talking to your right knee and find out what's going on. So I've got a story to tell you about that. But anyway, learn to scan your body this week. If you haven't done it before, it's a good time to start. Figure it out. If you're lucky, we might do something with that tonight in our meditation. Let me see if she's got a... I can do it from what I know, but let's see if she has a... Cool. All right. We will do that process a little later. Cool. The next card that we have is Auburn, which is to ground yourself. And you have a look at that card, and what do you know? It's autumn leaves. So because most of you are, Southern Hemisphere people, this is why this reading is probably a little bit more relevant to you guys. But yeah, ground yourself, get out into nature, do the things, just like a few minutes every day. Like the other day, what was it? Tuesday, I think it was. Tuesday? No, maybe Wednesday. And I had my lunch and I was just sitting in the car, but I had the door open and the sun was streaming in, and I was sitting in the car and I was just breathing all that beautiful fresh air and getting the vitamin D, and it felt so good on my skin, and I was loving life. I walked back inside to my job because I was on the same job all day, and I just felt great. So that can be grounding too. It's grounding with all the elements of nature, okay? So this is really interesting when I show you all 4 cards at once, because the last card that we've got is chocolate. Don't need to tell me twice to have chocolate. But anywho, what she's talking about here is nourishing your body and soul. So as you can see, that's a lovely dark color again. And it's about coming down into the depths. And when I'm seeing this card this week, what I'm seeing is that there's going to be a lot of what Tamara said earlier around shifting out what no longer serves. And I'm seeing that with this card. I'm seeing that there's going to be a lot of introspection this week. I'm seeing that there's going to be a lot of moments where you're perhaps not feeling quite centered necessarily, and you're starting to ask questions about that. So this week is going to be a big focus on what is working for you, what isn't working for you, but it's not necessarily about jobs or people or anything like that. It's more about what's working for you up here, what's working for you here, and yeah, exactly, chocolate. And just keep moving through it. So when I show you all of these cards together, you're going to see an interesting pattern. Couldn't have planned it if I'd wanted to. So we've got, right, you've got spirit, you've got body, you've got earth, you've got body. Okay, so your main focuses this week is going to be connection to your spirit and to your team and your body. Okay, so if you find yourself feeling a little sick, if you find yourself feeling a little bit out of sorts, if you find you've got funky things cropping up in your body, aches, pains, cold sores, headaches, or funky eyesight where it hasn't been weird before, ringing in your ears, maybe you might suddenly feel a bit queasy in the guts and stuff like that, and there's like no real reason for it. These are all really, really good signs that your body is trying to upgrade, and it's time for you to listen. Okay, so let's have a look at our Yami card before we get into our little readings. Not seeing Christine here yet, so we shall see. What a surprise. We get kindness. So that is our overall theme for this week. Be kind. Kindness, seek kindness. Kindness for you, kindness for your body, kindness for the people around you. And use your waha, use your mouth, and communicate with your loved ones around you. If you just require a little bit of alone time, if you require some, like I did with Rick, I just said, look, I might check in with you and say good morning, but more than likely I'm going to be radio silent for probably most of the day. And it's okay. I'm okay. I just have to do this process. And because I know that if I am in constant conversation with someone, that whether they be in my house or outside my house, if I'm in it's going to interrupt the flow of my upgrade and my awareness flow and all that sort of stuff. And what happens then is it delays the progression, and it means that I feel really jarred by that and not able to move through it as quickly. So I do tend to be fairly firm in my boundaries with those sorts of things, and I just go, zoop, boom, done. And when those other 3 messages came through, I was just like, I was that close to actually just, because I had my phone on do not disturb all day. And I just went, I'm very, very, very close to like taking the Facebook Messenger app off my phone. I was like about that close to it, but it's okay. So, yeah. Hi, Rick. Was your ears burning? Thank you, darling. So, yes. Sometimes we've got to do that. We've got to be really clear in our communication. So something I was saying about my upgrade that happened, I had a question around my knees, because my knees have been a bit funky sore lately, and particularly with my work, and it's not great that my knees are sore. And so I asked some questions around that, and it turned out to be not work related. It's not like a overuse syndrome or anything like that. It was with this new upgrade and this new this next level of Kundalini that was asking to come through. It was asking for a greater level of energy flow for my feminine energy to connect down with Mother Earth. And what was happening was my ego was having like a real battle with my body to let it flow through properly, because my ego is functioning from was functioning from some points of views and belief systems that I'd created like 20 something years ago. So it was that, I think I might have alluded to that last week, but it was like, that's where the knee pain has been coming from, or tension, tightness, because it was like the flow needed to be this big, but because of my belief systems and stuff around vulnerability and sensualness and being gentle and allowing that level of divine feminine to flow through, I was sitting at about here. But what my body is now asking for, and what my spiritual connection is asking for, is like asking for this. And I'm like, but I'm down here because this is safe. And so it wasn't that it wasn't flowing at all. It was just severely reduced. So in my working through with those meditations and stuff, I've realized what that is. I've opened that out. I've done some soothing to my ego side of me, which is like kind of like inner child work, really, and just letting all of that flow through and open up a little bit more and just keep things moving a little bit easier. So yeah. All right. Now, let me just jump to here. Okay. All right, Christine. Now, I have read through your messages. I have seen the things. Now, one of them I can answer using the pendulum. The other one wasn't really a message. There wasn't really a question there. So I don't know how to ask a question. I can't use the pendulum. I can't direct the energy towards anything specific because there was no actual specific question. Does that make sense? So I can do this one without too much trouble. And I did see you gave me another one there, so I'll just start that one so I can come back to that. But the one that sits in between this and your third question, if you could give me an actual question related to that, then I can maybe do something for you. But otherwise, it's just a big fat rant and there's no actual question there. So you need to come up with a specific question for me, okay? And I understand, I do totally get it that you are in a very stressful situation right now. It's very hard and it's very confusing to know what to do. So I totally get that. And I wish to be as honoring to you as possible, but also I'm not going to go digging around for questions when you haven't actually asked one. Okay? Righty ho. So let's have a look at our chameleon. Show me a yes, please. Thank you. And show me a no. So truth, would Patel be a great fit for renting 2511? Let's come back to neutral, please. Truth, would Patel be a great fit for renting 2511? Truth, will they pay on time? And truth, will they be clean as tenants? That's a yes for both of those. Yeah. So that's good. Fabulous. There you go. Okay. Doctor gave me estrogen as to the bleeding. Will that help normalize the hormones to stop the bleeding? Okay. Yes. to neutral. Thank you. Truth. Will the estrogen help to normalize Christine's hormones? That's a very firm yes. Truth. Will it help to stop her bleeding? Wow, that's a very strong sort of. It is literally going very strong in a circle. So it won't stop your bleeding completely, but it will help. It'll help to normalize things back out again. Okay. The time frame as to when to report B, since she is already writing my dad's checks and impostering my dad on the phone and writing notes to my tenants as if it is him. Okay. Where are you? Yes. Continue. So, truth, is it now time for Christine to report B? Truth, what will it create if Christine reports B in the next month? Truth, what will it create if Christine reports B within the next month? Truth, what will it create if Christine reports B within the next 2 months? Okay, come back to neutral, please. Just stop that flow. Truth, what will it create if Christine reports B within the next 6 months? Truth, what will it create? Okay, back to neutral, please. It's picking up on my next question. Oh dear. Truth, what will it create if Christine reports B within the next 12 months? Okay, that one's getting around and round and round. Okay. So, Truth, what will it create if Christine reports? Let's go back to neutral. Truth, what will it create if Christine reports B in the next 9 months? Not quite so strong. So it's around 9 months. Truth, what will it create if Christine reports within the next 8 months? Okay, that's still a very strong no. Truth, what will it... So if I take it back to neutral. Truth, what will it create if Christine reports within the next 10 months? That's a yes. So in 10 months' time, that's when you should be looking. You obviously maybe need to gather more evidence or stuff like that to be able to report. And that's going to take you around about 10 months to get everything, all the ducks in a row. All of the bits and pieces that you need to do within the next 10 months. Okay? I hope that helps. I know it's a very tricky and complicated situation that you're in right now, and I can only hope that it gets easier. I appreciate that you're reaching out to those who you feel you can trust. So thank you for that, Christine, and I wish you the absolute best of luck. And thank you for supporting us here at Find You Fridays. Alrighty, Tamara, my love. Amanda, I love how honest you are with us. It certainly helps me understanding the things that are happening in my world. So thank you very much. Oh, you're welcome, Amanda. There you go. That's why I am an open book with you guys. Because I know if I'd had that in my family, my blood family, there would have been a lot of things that I wouldn't have struggled so deeply with. So when it comes to the podcast and you guys are kind of like, you're my soul family. You're my friends who are, of a soul connection. And I appreciate that so much. And I love that we get to share with each other our journeys, our life experiences. And if I can be the catalyst for that, well, that's freaking cool. But yeah, I certainly know I really appreciate people being really open and honest with me. And it's one of those things of, I love it when I get to go into old ladies' homes and do their cleaning or their decluttering or whatever I'm doing for them. And they're just really, really open and honest with me about different things that have happened in their lives. And I'm just like, oh, wow, that's something to ponder or to think about, or which is the same thing, or to take into account for me and my life moving forward. And because of my industry experience and stuff like that, I can also share a lot with them, not from a spiritual perspective necessarily, but from a health and wellness perspective. And that they really appreciate that too, because they're like, oh gosh, nobody's ever said that to me before. And I'm like, well, I'm glad I was here today to help you. And it gives them a little bit of a pep in their step to go, oh, thank goodness, I'm not wrong for trying to look after myself as well. So yeah. Love it. Even though I'm probably drinking microplastics. I watched this video this last week on microplastics and how they're getting into us, and I'm just like, oh. So there's been stuff like they're talking about with the tea bags and how like the little wee fibers that can come off of a tea bag and how that gets, we then ingest those and then they pass through. I'm just like, oh. So I then I do sometimes actually take the stuff out of the tea bag and put it in my little tea strainer and stuff like that instead, but couldn't be bothered today. Couldn't be bothered. Alright, so we've got 20 years after tomorrow, okay? Tamara, who are you going to choose today? Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So on that topic, I'd love to know from your guys' perspective, who's been a great source of information for you over your time? Whether think about it from like either a body learning time or a spiritual progression time, you guys can choose. But I'd love to know who in your life has been a person of great inspiration. And this isn't me fishing for compliments, no way. No, I'm not that egotistical. It's more about acknowledging those in your life who have been of like a mentor type, even if they didn't realize it. And I have a follow-on question, which I'm going to ask after that. But yeah, I'd love to know. Pop it down in the comments below. And I'd love to know who you've found in your life to be a fabulous source of information or mentorship or stuff like that. So, wow, Tamara, you got some cool energy. And also, where's that? So, whatever that is, just below the bra line, I would suggest doing a bit of a body scan on that and see what's going on with the blockage through here. Okay, it's sitting on both sides of the spine, so it's sort of equally blocked, masculine, feminine. Yeah, there's something funky going on in there. It's like, yeah, back of the heart kind of area. So it's sitting at the back, not the front, you know. Sort of around T10, T11. Well, Rick, you've got to go get your clothes because otherwise they might get put out on the bench and then somebody might take them. Tamara, interesting. I've had a nasty cough at the moment. Been around for a few days. Have been carrying some extra sadness this week too. Yeah, huh? All right, let's have a look at what T9, 10 and 11 is all about. Oh, right. So T10 is living in the past, holding on to feelings of resentment, anger, judgment, and blame, feeling that if you hold on to your anger, it will hurt the other person rather than seeing how it hurts you and keeps you stuck. Refusal to change and see the other person's point of view, selfishness, arrogance, righteousness. On the physical level, you may experience kidney problems, chronic tiredness, and hardening of the arteries. T11 is low self-esteem, difficulty fitting in and feeling accepted, afraid that people will take advantage of you and hurt you, feeling second best, like there is something wrong with you, difficulty in communicating your needs in relationships, often attract relationships where people abuse you in some way. On a physical level, you may experience kidney problems, acne, pimples, or eczema. What was really pinging as I read that was the resentment. There's resentment stuff sitting in there. So maybe you have to do some release work around resentment, and you might find that will start to shift. Okay. Because as one of my beautiful dear friends says, what are you trying to bark at the world? And when I was doing my resentment processes and I was going through everybody, I went through every member of my family and everything. And one of the ones that really surprised me when I did my muscle testing was I was very resentful about my granddad. Now, you guys know I love my granddad, my mum's dad. He was my best mate. He was my mentor. He was the guy who supported me through so much. And it really surprised me that I was resentful towards him. I felt resentment about him. And I was resentful because I was sad and angry that he had died. And I was like, it was very much that feeling. As I dug down through that, I realized it was because I was so pissed off that he left me to deal with, as I said at the time, all the fuckery to do with my family. Because it was almost like him and I were the little spiritual duo that was helping to move the family forward. And now I had to do it all by myself. And I was just like, I can't believe you've done this to me. You've left me. You've abandoned me. How dare you? You know, it was his time to go. Legit. But that's where the resentment came from. It doesn't have to be reasonable. It doesn't have to make sense. It just is. But there's a thing of forgiveness in there. Now, I don't know if you have Netflix, but I watched, and for any of you that does have Netflix, I watched Finding Ahana today. And it ticked so many boxes for me. It had geocaching in it, it had Hawaii in it, it had legends in it, it had Ho'oponopono being used in a really super practical way in it. And I was like, oh, and I'm sure I've watched it before, but having done my Ho'oponopono training in the time since I watched it last time and this time, I'm like, oh, I get that now. So I would highly recommend, even if you've watched it before, if you've now been introduced to the principles of Ho'oponopono, then watch it again, because you'll find, I'm sure you'll be a little bit like me and go, oh, wow, okay, cool. That makes sense to me. So anyway, Tamara, that's interesting. One of my main mentors early in my spiritual journey taught me so much, good and bad. I ended up working for, which was great until it wasn't. It's come up this week from a I'm ready to let this go perspective. There's a lot there, so no surprises. I was angry for a long time about how much she took from me. Yeah. And that carries a lot of resentment. Yeah. So it's time to let that out, let it go, let it free, forgive yourself, and forgive them. You know. Cool. Finding Ohana. 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 You've got some really interesting cards coming out this time, love. So we've got the Shaman's Dream Oracle that's come through. So let us have a look. These ones are always really super interesting, and I find them to be very spot on. So all right. So your first card is Mini Masks. What's that? Oh, right. Sorry. I was struggling to understand what this was. Oh, sorry for the middle finger. Oh, this dark one here. I couldn't quite catch what it was. It took me a moment, but you guys should be able to see that from there. It's a mask that's hot, like face down. Anyway, but I was looking at it, it was like, it looked like a moth. I'm like, why am I seeing a moth? I don't understand. Anyway, mini masks, the authentic self, energizing internal allies and a conscious shift. We live in a world where everyone we see wears a mask. We wear these masks to cover up and protect who we really are. We learn to do so because we've been conditioned to try to appear a certain way to fit into society. Masks allow us to belong, so we remain within the confines of what is expected. Masks are not inherently bad, rather, they provide context and structure for our personalities and our soul's expression. Some of us might believe that a particular mask fixed and hardened onto us is our permanent face. We forget that we are living beings with a multitude of faces, enabling us to experience a fuller, more vibrant world. Your authentic essence doesn't want to be constrained by others' expectations anymore. Now is the time to strip away the mask that you've accepted and discover who you really are. A new self is emerging. Your perception changes as you adopt new ways of being. Right now, it's really important to allow yourself to experiment, to experience the world in all its myriad potentials and possibilities. Try on different masks. Allow yourself to be fluid and curious. How will you know what you love and what you resonate with if you don't take off the mask that you've always worn and test drive some new ones? Your authentic essence will never change. It will only express itself differently through these optional selves. Through trial and error, you discover more and more about who you want to become. What would it feel like to explore this side of you? Anything is possible if you're willing to open up to your potential. You truly can move beyond the barriers that society has set. Use your imagination and step into the magic. So that's pretty cool. It's a good start. Thank you for that, Tamara. Your next card, the slipping of the masks thing, it's quite interesting when you realize just how many different masks you have. It's like I've got the version of me that you guys see is sort of like the bright and bubbly one. It's the one that comes with reasonably full of energy and most of the time, and it's the one that's very spiritually connected. I'm very open, like my channels are very open right now, and all of that. Then there's a part of there's a side of me that is way more reserved. It's very quiet. It's introspective. It's just likes to decompress. That's that part of me that likes to decompress. It's the one that loves. Then there's the part of me that loves, which kind of crosses over with the previous one. There's the really creative side of me where I get really excited about doing craft and being creative and working with my hands and having a problem to solve and solving it and doing it in a really super creative way. There's that part of me. There's the side of me that is my work side, that is the more professional, the one that tries not to swear, who's, you know, really thinking about customer service and making sure that I'm doing the best possible work for the people. There's also the side of me that is with like certain friends get to see certain sides of me as well, because some of my friends are not particularly spiritual people, so they get to see what they would consider the normal side of me. Then there's the others who do spiritual stuff, so they get to see more of that side of me. Then there's the whole family side, and that's a whole other thing. So it's like I know I have many different sides. There's also the side of me that obviously my romantic partner gets to see, and my romantic partner gets to see sort of like little bits of all of them, almost all of them, except for probably the real like the connection that I have with my soul sisters. That's the one part that my romantic partner doesn't necessarily get to see so much, because it's just a different kind of relationship. But yeah, and when you have that allowance for knowing that you can shift and change, it's like we have many different hats. It's the same thing. And it's okay. It's okay to have that. It makes you a bit of a chameleon. It means you can fit into all sorts of different situations. And that's a good thing too, I think. There's also the other one that is similar to this one, which is where I'm on my healer side. But again, it's got a different feel to it. It's got a different vibe. It's got a lot bigger potency to it. So when we have those moments of recognition of just how adaptable we are, and we don't have to try and hold onto really tightly onto one particular mask, it makes life a lot easier. I think for me it does. You know, I tried for a really long time to be the one type of person all the time, and it was incredibly draining because there was just no way to be that, because different people and different groups and different situations require different things and different approaches. I look at it as, you know, if you're doing, I love a good metaphor. If you're doing like renovations and you've got to bash down a brick wall, right, so you can open up a space, there's no way you're going to do that with a fine art paintbrush. It requires a different tool. Whereas the opposite is also true. If you're doing a piece of fine art using oil colors and all of that sort of stuff, you're not going to use a sledgehammer to do that. You're not going to be able to get those fine lines and stuff like that. So I look at it as these mini masks are just the different ways that we can be adaptable to different situations, and it's a good thing. Trying to be the same across the board it just doesn't work at all. And it's incredibly tiring, and you piss a lot of people off, and you confuse their other people. And, you know, if somebody was to rock up to a fine art class with a sledgehammer and go, yep, got my tool, I'm going to be like, what? If you rocked up to a construction site with a fine paintbrush and said, you know, I'm going to take down this wall with this paintbrush, good luck, buddy. You get laughed off the site. So yeah, it's important to know how to and be okay with the fact that you do have, it's being more consciously aware of that. Okay. Next one, watches. Serendipity, the observer, witness, and transpersonal. When watches appear, it is an invitation to stop doing. Pause, get off the treadmill and take a deep breath. Find the witness within, with the one who can observe the fire and fury happening around you, but is not caught in any of the drama. The time is right to step back. If you have a thought or opinion, keep it to yourself. If you have a feeling that needs to be expressed, do it in the shower. Do not engage with the action happening around you. Simply observe. Watches show up to direct your attention to the horizon, away from the anthill in front of you. Others may think you are simply doing nothing, but let them know that they are helping the sun to set in the evening sky. There are bigger things to attend to. You have spent such a long time trying to correct the course of events and the actions of others. Let it be for a short while, as you become the observer rather than the doer. The watchers invite you to break free from the linear, causal pace of the petty day-to-day. Rise to divine coincidence, to serendipity, and notice how the act of seeing the heart of the matter produces results. Things happen without you doing anything. Creation unfolds in its own mysterious way, requiring only a sacred witness. I was talking about this just today, I think. When I'm in group situations, I sit back and observe for a while before I step in. Doesn't matter if I know the people or not. I will generally always step back and watch. Because then I know which mask to wear. Which approach to take. And also, when we are in those spaces of big spiritual upgrades, watching is it's like observing everything. Observe the body, observe how you're interacting with the things happening around you, observing your food, observing what things is your body craving. Is it really asking for movement, or is it asking for quiet and sleep? So just really fine tune. I'm getting a lot of body and observation at the moment. So let's see what else we've got in this. This next one I've never had before, so I'm really curious what it is. This next two actually are very, very curious to me. Hi, Catherine. It's okay, love. I'm just happy to have you here. All right, we got the galactic mushroom, the divine matrix, and the intricate complexity of life. You might have been thinking and acting like you were the only one in the dream creating your life. The galactic mushroom arrives as a playful yet potent reminder that you need to get with your higher power. The universal laws are not for your benefit only. The law of attraction does not exist just to serve up your desired outcome. The matrix of consciousness, called Source or God or Spirit and many other names, is intricately woven into life. There is so much complexity that the human mind cannot comprehend all the moving parts. It's impossible to see beyond what you already know, just as the head of a mushroom is clearly visible above the soil, but not the living biome below. The Thread-like mycelium of fungi form vast, intricate networks underground, connecting different life forms with one another in a kind of internet of the plant kingdom. Imagine the divine matrix serving the same way, connecting the individual consciousness with that of the divine. The galactic mushroom reminds you that your dreams and desires are heard. This is a call of faith and trust. Whatever intention you hold consciously, with hope and faith, first manifests in the unseen realms. Whether or not you can see it working on your behalf, eventually you see the evidence play out in serendipitous events that work in your favor, seemingly outside of the law of cause and effect. Your most beautiful results are being birthed right now, not just for you, but for the highest good of all. Interesting. We have faith and trust. So it's like, it's okay. Shh. Stop trying to do. Sit back, breathe, watch, have faith, trust. These are the themes so far. I love it. These are your key words. Still do a little bit of stuff around that resentment stuff. Because like you said, it's the good and the bad. How to do things, how to not do things, what works for you, what doesn't. All of it's important. This next card I find really fascinating. And it says, straddling worlds, being comfortable in two states, wandering between realms. When the straddling worlds card shows up, it's an invitation to get used to living with one foot in your old world and one foot in the new. There is no going back to the way things once were, and what will be is not yet fully here. You must find the delicate balance that can bring you delight as you relish the past and all of your memories, along with awe as you glimpse the astonishing and exciting future. Do not wait for applause. Move on quietly, humbly, invisible to others. This card brings an invitation to begin not only a new chapter, but a new book in your life. Do not break the news to anyone. Let people be as surprised as you are as you reinvent yourself. Make sure you are not just slightly improved and more polished version of a dated and obsolete you. Birth yourself into someone original. Do not feel like you have to explain yourself or be understood by anyone. Become a mystery, even to yourself. Gaze into the mirror one morning and be pleasantly surprised. Straddling Worlds invites you to become a true wizard, not one who performs magic tricks, but one who has mastered the dance between the visible and invisible worlds, between the realms of form and formlessness. You are the birther of new ideas, of original and sustainable ways of being in the world. And you know the way you do that? By being comfortable with your masks and willing to try new ones. Observing and trusting that you are connected. What an absolutely amazing reading. That's just like, fuck yes. And as I was reading that, I was also hearing maybe the previous one, the Galactic Mushroom one. There's something in one of the Dolores Cannon books for you. I'm not sure which one, but there's something there. See which one speaks to you. There's something. But also give Brian Dr. Brian Weiss's meditations another go. See if you can actually stay awake. Because you're in a very different place now to what you were when you last tried them. And I think that you'll find that that might be be something that's going to help with moving things through. Your yummy card is soften. I shared something up on my Facebook this week around the stages of being a spiritual person, an empath, that sort of thing. And yes, Tamara, I'm sorry, I didn't put your little down there, I'm sorry. But yeah, that was really interesting. And something that I realized is the more, and you guys might kind of go, what? Considering how open I am on here. But the more conscious I become, the quieter I become. In that I don't feel like I have to be doing everything for everyone anymore. My people pleaser side is very much not completely gone, but it's certainly dulled down to a more healthy level. Because I believe that the only reason why people think that people pleasing is bad is because it gets hyper fixated. So it's like it gets blown up out of proportion. And when you do anything to extreme levels, it's not great. But I believe people pleasing is actually a form of caring. It's a form of nurturing. It's a form of connection. And if you're somebody who likes to connect with people in that way by caring, then I don't see it's a bad thing to have that as a capacity. It's only when it becomes unhealthy and too much of an obsession and stuff like that. That's when people pleasing is not a good thing. But there is certainly the awareness of the intricacies of somebody's energy is, and how they're going to be with that and how they're going to function in their day and stuff like that. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad skill. But yes, when it is done to the extreme, yes, I agree, Tamara. It is usually done at the expense of yourself. I agree. Yeah, I think it's different when you shift that dynamic and you start taking good care of yourself first and then take care of others. That's when the people pleasing is actually, it's a healthy balance. Alrighty, Tamara, thank you so much. I hope that has helped you for your week to come. And thank you so much for donating and your very generous donation. I'm so grateful for you, and thank you for supporting Find You Fridays. Couldn't do it without you. Okay, Tony, my dear, it's your turn. What is your question, my love? Cool. I haven't missed anybody at this stage, so that's good. Jen, oh. So, Cat Goddess, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that very much. So these people who are currently getting readings have all put in a little donation. So I very much appreciate that. And generally by the time I get through, because I'm very, very fortunate to have so many amazing people donating, that by the time I get through them, we're normally at a point where we're kind of like, yeah, cool, let's do maybe some poetry if it's been a bit of a lighter day. Otherwise we go into a meditation. So at this stage, if you wish to put in a little donation, there's the PayPal thingy running across the bottom. And otherwise, just stick around. You might find something that is relevant to you too. Quite often what happens in these readings is you're here for a message, and sometimes the message comes to you through someone else. So, yeah. Tamara said, thank you for my reading. Beautiful. My office job came to an end this week, so the end of an era. Had a big realization about a change in direction that I need to make, something that I haven't even shared with my bestie yet. Good. Keep it to yourself for now. Just want to use this time to reset and connect. Also start in a child course on Monday. Fabulous. Yes. Yeah, it's interesting when we kind of go, I actually think I'm going to keep that to myself for a bit. It's funny when that happens, isn't it? Because there's stuff that I haven't shared with anybody either from my upgrade last week. It's been an interesting time, and it's okay. It's all right to keep some stuff to yourself. You know, sometimes it's absolutely necessary to do that. Gotta love the inner child work, though. I wish more people knew how to do inner child work. I do. I wish more therapists knew how to do that. And more psychologists and counselors and things like that knew how to do it. And the reason is because if in doing inner child work, people might actually be able to get away from such high levels of medication, like antipsychotics and stuff like that, pain medications. This is just my belief, and if you agree, cool. Yes, you can put that in there. Yes, go ahead, Tamara. That's fine. Yeah, I really do wish more people knew how to do inner child work. It's not that hard to do, but it does help to have some guidance initially, I think. Tony, if I remember correctly, you're already doing another course at the moment, yeah? Cat Goddess is, she's over on YouTube. She said, true spirit or spirit guides or even the universe itself can work in mysterious ways. Never know how or where messages could come. Literally had a dream that helped me fix some things. Oh yeah. I quite often find my solutions at the bottom of a cup of tea. Night, Rick. Hope you have a fabulous tour tomorrow. Enjoy. Now, some of my greatest whoa moments have been happening in the messages of movies. Movies have been there was, I can't actually remember which one it was that I watched just recently, but it was around the message that kind of stuck was around the loss of ancestral knowledge and heritage. And it was The Mugai. It's an Australian movie. It's kind of like a little bit of a horror, but it's not it wasn't too bad of a horror. It's on Netflix. But the message that really, really stuck with me was how disconnected we are in the cities from our ancestral knowledge, and that if we, and I mean all of us, we all have in our ancestry somewhere some kind of background that has deep connection with spirit, with the universe, with gods, with divinity, with all of that sort of stuff. And over the years, we have had we have just become so freaking disconnected. And that particular movie had me going, oh. And it helped. That I think that was the week that I did the connection down as if we were a tree going down through the earth. So that was a couple of weeks ago. And that was kind of the inspiration for that. So yeah, The Mugai, it was a beautiful movie that really got the back of the hairs on my neck kind of going, whoa. And I think that's why ancestral work is actually really important, because if you know your ancestry, it helps a lot with understanding, whichever way you kind of want to look at it. Some of the trauma points that have flowed through to you that maybe your parents weren't aware of. So if you have, here's another analogy for you. So imagine that you are carrying a backpack, but somebody else packed your backpack, and you have no freaking idea what's in there, and you're wearing this thing, and you don't even investigate it. You just carry this thing around year after year after year, and thinking, oh, this is just the way it's always been. This is the way it's always gonna be, and that's it. This is kind of this is very much, say, my mum's point of view. And I'm sitting with my backpack going, hang on a minute, what the hell's back there? And I open it up and I dig it out and I go, oh, well, geez, that's not even mine. Okay, what do I have to do to heal this? What do I have to do to help release this from my backpack so I'm no longer carrying it anymore? And that's the way I look at the work that we're doing, whether it be inner child work, whether it be ancestral work, whether it be regression work, whatever it is. And the other cool passages of parts of our backpack is the stuff that we bring through, not just from our ancestral lines, but from our spiritual lines, from our own spiritual journey. That's stuff that's back there too. And that's where our spiritual higher self has got to pack that in there. And our cognitive, our conscious self is going, I don't know what's back there. So, that good old adage of everybody comes in with baggage. Yeah, we do. We just don't realize what it is. And so I think, to me, doing ancestral work and even finding out where your ancestors are from is actually really important. And I find it sad that for a lot of us, we don't know even who our grandparents were, or even our great-grandparents. We don't know where they've come from. We don't know where they were born. And that's sad to me. Whereas in some cultures, you think about how they list off the names. Like I think of the traditional American Indians, and they're from this line and this line and this line and this line. They're the son of the blah 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 blah, all the way back, and it's like, that's really cool because it's keeping that knowledge alive. And I think it's important because as stuff comes up, you can deal with it. Yay. Okie dokie. Enough of soaps. Fun fact for you guys. I've done 3 ancestral trackings for 3 partners, and every time I've done one, we've split up. How funny is that? Yeah, imagine if there was 6-inch high heels back. I'd definitely be dumping those out of the backpack. I definitely rummage through, but mainly because I am nosy. Yes, I agree, Amanda. I agree. All right, Tony. Back to you and your beautiful reading. Ear chakras is your first card. Notice messages that appear as sounds, music, words coming from both external sources and within your mind. These messages are real answers to your prayers. So, Tony, oh dear me, Tony, my dear, I think you find that your ears are starting to be a little bit different lately. You're hearing things a little bit, hearing things differently. And, this is something that might be a little bit, night, Tamara. Thank you for being with us. I actually think you've got some capacities which are expanding at the moment to do with hearing and hearing things in a different way. It's almost like you're going to start hearing things from a perspective where in a way that you haven't before. So you know how there are some people who can taste color, or colors and numbers are connected? What I'm getting with you, Tony, is I'm getting a sense that you're going to hear energy. It's not just going to be footsteps and door slams or things creaking down the road or anything like that. You're going to start hearing things a little bit more differently. And with that, it's going to come with some different physical reactions for you. So it's going to be very different for you. Don't be surprised if it's uncomfortable to start off with. Like any new skill, it can be a bit sort of stretching, if you like, stretching of the muscles, stretching of the spaces and of the mind as well. Okay. We've got Archangel Raphael for you. Healing angel is with you, supporting you in your healing work. So I get that you're going to start hearing things from a different perspective, which is also going to allow, your healing work with others to be taken to a whole other level. Now, your healing work, say this could be to do with your beads, your beaded bracelets that you've been making lately. Somebody might put in an order and you might hear, actually, they require this, and this, or only this. And it's going to come through a lot more intuitively for you. So that's how one of the ways that you're doing your healing, you're producing healing in the world. Okay. There's a point of imbuing those beads with energy that is healing for that person and specifically tailored for that person. Okay. Yeah. We've got cut your cords. Ask Archangel Michael to clear any old attachments to fear that stem from past relationships, freeing you from destructive patterns. All right. So what I'm hearing with this one is this is past relationships where you have formed an opinion or a belief system within your space that says that you can't do the things, particularly with your healing, that you can do. Those moments where that annoying little voice pops up in your head and says, that's something that you've picked up elsewhere. Okay, so please start cutting those energetic cords. This is, again, it's inner child work. It's clearing your spaces. It's helping. This is part of your journey right now. And it is, I'm hearing it's crunch time for you. This is stuff that you have to do now. And your healing journey, yes, you're going to be helping others to heal, which is great, but this is also about you clearing the table for you, so that for however long you've got left here on this beautiful planet and this particular meat sack that you've chosen, you're going to have an easier time because you're doing this like, okay, I'm getting rid of that out of my backpack. I'm getting rid of that out of my backpack. I'm getting rid of that. Okay, let's go. It's like the time is now. There isn't, you haven't necessarily got another 20 or 30 years to look forward to. The time is now. Okay. And with all of that, we've got visualize success. See yourself doing well in the situation and have faith in a positive outcome. So what I was seeing with this one is when you go into your meditation space, take a few moments and have a look at what would your most desired outcome be for this next little period of your life. Okay. So just have a little think about that and start tuning in on the peacefulness, the happiness, the gratitude, when I think about, say, for this space, I'm like, I think I'd just like to be peaceful and happy. Not fighting with people, not arguing with people about stuff, not getting irritated and all of that, just being peaceful. And it's like that sort of feeling is what I'm getting for you as well. It's like just taking that lovely big breath and just going, okay. It's that moment of surrender to the process. Okay. And the surrendering that is going to happen is something you have to choose. But you have to choose to let go of the angst. You have to let go of the anger. You have to let go of resentment. You have to let go of judgment. You have to let go of all that other shit and just be. So you've said, I'm going to be happy. I am happy. See, you corrected yourself. Because if you say, I'm going to be, it means you're putting it out into the future, not right now. But I am happy is bringing it to the present moment. And what I'm getting for you right now is it's really important for you to be in the present moment and not so much out there. Just be really present with the now. Be grateful for the now. Just forget about all the rest of it and just be. Surrender. Maybe do some work around the word surrender and see, like, what would it take for me to surrender to this being present right now? What would it take for me to surrender to this present moment? And see what pops into your mind. See what comes through. And then be courageous and follow your intuition and your awareness about what it is. Okay? Frequency is your yummy card. Okay, so frequency is, as you know, it's the vibe you be in right now. So if your frequency is about being present in the now instead of being anxious about the future or sad about the past, if you're just being present in the now, your frequency is going to be very different. Okay? So yeah, I would do maybe some journaling about, so say truth. What would it take for me to surrender to this present moment? Yeah. Yeah, darling, I know you're getting tired. I feel it. But also, it's like past midnight at your end. Oh, dear. Anyway, Tony, thank you so much for tuning in here and for your very, very kind donation. I am so grateful for you. Thank you so much for supporting us here at Find You Fridays and being a part of the Find You Fridays crew. I love having you here. It's really nice to have had the privilege to be able to come and see you last year and in your beautiful home and you know, meet Nala and and all those beautiful things. So you're a special human being, and I feel very honored and privileged that you choose to be here with us and use your precious time in this way. So thank you. Thank you for being here. All right, my friends. Let me just double check. Oh, excuse me. Quite often, just so that you guys are aware, when I'm yawning like that, it's actually people's teams stepping in and out, or a big energy shift that's happening within what we're talking about, or what I'm aware of, or energy shifting. Like, because I'm a kinesthetic healer, and I'm feeling what's going on in your guys' bodies and stuff like that, what often happens is that there'll be a contribution of energy that I'm being towards you guys, whoever I'm reading for at the time. And that shifting of energy, like the contribution, it might be just a contribution of some kind of consciousness, a bit of awareness, a little bit of a sparkle of energy, something. And so when I yawn like that, it's not necessarily because I'm tired. It's actually more so it's the shifting of energy. And I've been, interesting fact for you guys, I don't know if I've told you this, but I've actually been doing that since I was a little kid and not realizing what that was. It was, I used to yawn a lot, and people go, "Are you tired?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm just getting more air in my head." Which technically is true. It's like, I'm just shifting energy, like, but I didn't know at that time the energy that I was shifting was other people's energy too. I was healing people and helping them to heal themselves by, you know, yawning out and giving them the gifts of awareness. But as a little kid that had zero training, because there was nobody around me that did any of that sort of stuff, I had no idea that that's what I was doing. And as an adult, that still happens from time to time. I'm a little bit more conscious of what I'm doing these days. But because here my channels are very open, and I'm just, your guys' team step in, they step out, they bring energy in with them, they take their energy away. It's that creates a yawn in me as that transition happens. That's okay, love. Amanda, that's cool. It was lovely to have you with us. You can always catch the meditation tomorrow, or when it suits you to tune in. You know, it's always there up on YouTube, and on my Facebook business page, it's always there. They haven't started deleting those videos yet. Unfortunately, they give you like 30 days to catch it on my personal page, but yeah, on the business page, that's always there at this stage. I hope you have a wonderful week too. All right, Paul, what are you up to now? Hello, Lorene. Seeing the California ocean on Monday. Can't wait. I love it. Yes. That is super cool, Paul. I love that you're getting out there seeing things for the first time. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's all right. I only realized today that I live a little bit closer to the ocean than I thought I did. I'm only like 23 minutes away. Oh, and you're welcome, Tony. That's awesome. But yeah, because I live in the middle of a paddock, and it feels like forever away from any ocean. But Adelaide has like this big inlet, and for those of you who are Adelaideans, there's like Torrens Island and stuff like that. And it turns out where I live is kind of like the tip of Torrens Island, of that peninsula. If you go, there's like a body of water that comes down and around and then carries on up. And I'm like a little bit further, almost directly across from that body of water. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. And not too far from me, there's like mangroves and stuff like that, which is really cool. So yeah, you've never seen an ocean? That's interesting. I find that really fascinating. What would that be like? Because I mean, being in New Zealand and a family that traveled a lot, I've seen the ocean, I've seen mountains, I've seen rivers, I've seen snow, I've seen deserts. And now that I live here in Australia, I've definitely seen oceans. I haven't seen the mountains here yet, but I've definitely seen. Uluru is a bit weird because it's kind of like mountains, but it's not. But it kind of is, but it's weirdly not. It's a bit different. But I haven't like been to the Blue Mountains. But yeah, I've been to the rainforests. I love traveling though. Absolutely love it. That's so cool that you're getting out there and seeing the world, Paul. That's great. I'm very happy for you. Okay, just making sure I didn't miss anything else. That'll be all good. All right, it'll be enough of that. So, I think we might be due for our meditation now. So if we jump back to, and before I do that, just make sure that we've got, where am I? That one turned off. What time is it? Cool. My screensaver at the moment is this. So every time I look at the phone, I see Rick's beautiful face and my beautiful face, and I get all squishy. And I can show you guys now because Rick's not here. Yeah. Yeah, the rainforest up in Queensland. That was where I saw the rainforests. They were really cool. Haven't been to the Amazon or anything like that, but yeah, rainforests up in Queensland, they were really neat. Come along, you and husband. We can make a campfire. I do love a good campfire, actually. All right, so if you guys recall at the start of the show as such, there was this lovely card about scanning your body. And because our reading from the start of the show had that we are to connect in with spirit and nature, that we are to learn to scan our bodies, to ground ourselves and to nourish our body and soul. And if you do that with chocolate, So the magical inner Seagull has a lovely little process in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our expanding out tool first, because it's just such a good thing to do. And then we are going to do this little process, okay? So it won't be long. So Melinda, if you want to stick around, you're welcome to. Otherwise, good night. I hope you have a lovely sleep and rest and revitalize for tomorrow. So everybody close your eyes. Take a big deep breath in. All the way down to the bottom of your belly, and then breathing out. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. Breathing out, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down. Bringing Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. Bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. As you breathe in normally, become aware of how your body is functioning. Become aware of the breath moving in through your mouth or your nose, down through your throat, down into your lungs. Become aware of your lungs expanding and contracting. And as they do that, how it sends the oxygen through the bloodstream, up into the heart. And just see all your internal organs and how they all fit together and they work in conjunction with each other. And just having that moment of gratitude that they are functioning well for you, the best that they can do right now. And now become aware of the rest of your body, of the skin that's holding everything in place. And now expanding out your awareness in a big bubble around you, up into the sky and down into the earth, expanding out your awareness. Out beyond the size of the country that you're on. Expanding out your awareness out beyond the size of the planet. Expanding out your awareness beyond the size of the solar system. Beyond the size of the galaxies. And beyond the size of the universes. Take a big deep breath in. And out. And now focusing on your body once more, and grab your sense of allowance and expand that out into a big bubble up into the sky and down into the earth. Remembering that as you expand out your allowance, you're going from being a tight, contracted little pebble at the bottom of a raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, being stressed about the future and sad and angry about the past, and takes you to being that nice, big, fluffy cloud that is 100% surrendered and focused on the present. Where you're floating over that raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and seeing it for exactly what it is. It's just energy. Beautiful. Expanding out your allowance up into the sky and down into the earth. Expanding out beyond the size of the planet, and the size of the solar system, beyond the size of the galaxies, beyond the size of the universes, and now beyond the size of your awareness, taking a big deep breath in. And just feeling how much more relaxed and spacious your body already feels just by doing that. Now we're going to do the scan your body process. So visualize or sense a grey ray. See it floating above your crown, above your skull. And we're going to ask this grey ray to assist us with scanning our body for any dysfunctions. See it slowly moving down over the body. We're going to use it to bring any blockages or stuckness in your body to your awareness. Keep your eyes closed and place your attention inside your body, asking the grey ray to circle any area that requires help and bringing that area to your conscious awareness. Become aware if any part of your body looks or feels like it is grey. Moving over your face, your throat, your shoulders, all the way down your arms, to your fingertips, through your chest, down your shoulders and your back. As you're doing this, you might come across some funny little twinges that you weren't aware of before. Just sort of tuck that away as like a little checklist. Moving down through your belly, through your pelvis, all your reproductive organs, your thighs, your knees, your shins and your calves, all the way down through the heels of your feet, through to your toes. Now that we've identified the blockages in the body, now I invite you to ask that part of your body what colour would be helpful in healing it. Once that's identified, then bathe it with that particular colour. Observe as the greyness leaves your body and is replaced by vibrant rays of colour. And now repeating after me. Divine Healing Intelligence, please release all stuckness and limitation from my life so I can welcome freedom, creativity, and well-being. Thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. And of course, you can repeat this process with any other part of your body that is popped up as requiring some assistance. And just keep repeating it, repeating it, and repeating it until all those grey areas, all those moments of stuckness have gone. And then you can do a final scan using the grey ray from the top of your head all the way down. See if there's anything else that requires your assistance right now. And if you're clean and clear, that's great. That's wonderful. Or if you're feeling tired, you can just pop a little pin in it and say, oh, we'll come back to you later when I've got more energy. And that's totally okay too. Sometimes we can only do a little bit at a time. So do whatever works for you. Feel free to repeat this process as many times as you wish. But for right now, we're going to step out onto the big, stepping under the big, beautiful crystalline waterfall. You feel the water flowing over and through your beautiful, gorgeous body, washing away any other little fragments that are ready to go. Those energies that are just like, yeah, nah, it's time for us to go now. You've done that healing. Yeah, that's cool. We can go. Beautiful. And now stepping out onto the big warm river rock. Feel the warmth of Mother Earth underneath your feet. And bring that energy with your inwards breath. Bring it all the way up, that Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. As you breathe in, as you breathe out, bring Father Sky energy all the way down. Breathing in, bring Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And as you breathe out, bring Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. When you're ready, you might open your eyes. Please remember to have a nice drink of water now. You may even feel like a little bit of salt, just to help settle the brain. Whenever we do energetic healing and releasing, the body detoxes some, and it requires the salt because it pulls the salt out of your brain and out of the other parts of your body to do it. So that's why we feel the requirement for salty things when we put ourselves into healing situations. And maybe a bit thirst. So for this week to come, please take it easy on yourself. Connect in with Mother Earth, connect in with your body, ground yourself and nourish yourself, okay? All very important this week to come. Take it easy out there. Do something nice and tasty for yourself. And until next time, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends. I'll see you soon.